How we doing? Today is Monday, April 28th, 2025. So haven't been doing my real estate tap-in over the last few days. Took a couple days off. Was in a training course, so just trying to get back at it. So a few different articles though. I'm going to be talking more about it when I go live at 12:30 Eastern Standard Time today. So if you want to join me there, I'll go into more detail about these particular articles. But there was one article, actually two articles just talking about how sellers are having to make more concessions when selling. So either they are getting a price discovery, meaning that, what they thought their house was worth, it's really not worth that. Or they're having to, throw something into the deal to get the house sold. Things in a lot of markets, probably about half the markets in the U.S. are starting to see longer days on market. So it's kind of swinging over to the to the buyers side right now. And then there was another article, interesting article out of Denver. A woman who owned a home, and I think it was a townhome, if I remember correctly, in Denver. She wound up losing the house due to the HOA fees. And a judge now has gone back and said that that investor that bought it, has to go back and basically give the house back to those people. Very interesting story. And this is not like they bought the property in foreclosure 6 months ago. I think this goes back to 2022, if I remember correctly. But the reason why the judge is doing it is because the home is in a affordable affordable home program. This was built, with the idea of making homes affordable. People with certain incomes could get into the home. And they're saying that because of that, this investor couldn't, purchase this home and now own this particular home. So it's a very interesting article. So I'll talk about that a little bit. And then, like I said, we always try to bring it back to real estate notes. A lot of times, when we do our research on notes, we have to make sure that the HOA fee is paid, because those are one of the few things that can jump your position, your first lien position as a note holder, is if you do not pay HOA fees. And that's in, certain states. Not all states are like that, but in Denver, it clearly is. That, if the HOA, puts a lien on the property, it could supersede, your first lien mortgage. So you have to be very careful with that if you're going to buy those types of notes. And if the HOA fee, has to be paid, then you want to make sure that you pay it. And then, obviously you can get the money back, from the seller, from the owner of the property, if need be. You could tack that on to the remaining balance of that note. So, but it was very interesting to see they're making them give the house back because of this affordable home program. So, I'll be going through a couple of articles again at 12:30. Going live if you have any questions about real estate, want to talk about real estate notes or seller financing. You could catch me on my Instagram page, Abundant Capital Group. And we'll get your questions answered and kind of talk through some of these articles. But the market is changing, and obviously we don't know what's going to happen in Washington, but we're keeping an eye on it. So, and we just want to keep everybody informed as best as possible. So like I said, if you have a situation, something you want to talk about, something you want to discuss, you know, you can comment on this video, or, you know, join me at 12:30 and we'll get an answer. All right. Talk to you soon. Have a great day.